It's not often Toyota updates its LandCruiser, so when it does, it tends to be pretty big news. And this is the latest tweak to the 200 series. Basic proportion, basic shape remains, but the front end in particular has had quite an update. You're looking at headlights, bonnet and guards, for example. But the LandCruiser also gets work beneath the skin. Under that new bonnet is a revised version of the familiar 4.5 litre twin-turbo V8 diesel. There are new fuel injectors, among other minor tweaks. Not that it makes a massive difference on the road. Torque is unchanged at 650 Newton metres, and power has snuck up a tiny bit. You're talking about 5 kilowatts. So no surprises then. It drives pretty much the same as the 200 series has known for years. And it's also a little bit cleaner. Toyota has finally added a particulate filter for the diesel. It also uses a bit less fuel. So you're talking about 9.5 litres, 100 Ks as the official claim. That's about 8% better than the previous one. So not a huge difference, but where it does help is in how much you'll get out of a tank. So you're looking at a 138 litre tank, so roughly 100 odd Ks extra out of a tank. So you know, on average somewhere around about 1200 kilometres of relatively easy cruising. Dynamically the LandCruiser is unchanged, so it's still pretty big, heavy and ponderous around town, but out here is a lot nicer. You can option the KDSS suspension, kinetic dynamic suspension system, which stops a bit of that body movement. But generally it is so quiet and so refined, it's borderline luxurious in here. It's a really easy way to do it, and the suspension's pretty supple too, so it deals nicely with all those lumps and bumps. Once you're loaded up with people and gear, some may want a little more firmness to the suspension, but obviously that's where the aftermarket can help out. There's so much out there for LandCruisers. And on that note, the GVM, or gross vehicle mass, of this car is actually not great. You can only put about 600 kilos of gear in there, and that includes everything: fuel, luggage, people, the whole shebang. So it's pretty easy to hit that limit. Still, as the name implies, the LandCruiser is about tackling a whole bunch of varied terrain. Not a whole lot's changed there. It's got the same full-time four-wheel drive system, so permanent four-wheel drive, or you can put it in low range, which I'll grab now. Also got a centre diff lock, which we'll get going. And some pretty cool electronics there too to work out which wheels can best make use of the drive. Another function is the turn assist, but like everything, it's got all these intricacies of when you can and can't use it. Grab it now, but we have to turn off the diff lock to then activate turn assist. So what it does, it's an extension of that crawl control feature. So when you want to do a tight turn like this, hook on full lock, and it actually brakes that inside wheel, so in this case the right hand wheel, and helps you do an amazingly tight turn. Like it's doing more than you'd get just from the steering on its own. Noisily. One thing that's handy for this really slow speed stuff is the, well, effectively off-road cruise control. It's called crawl control, so we'll activate that. And as you can hear, it's pretty noisy. It's actually very noisy. It's just activating the, well, using the ABS function. So it's got a lot of braking going on. But where it helps is if you're trying to tackle something that you really want to edge up slowly, and it might be rocky, for example, and you might have issues with, you know, your foot hitting the accelerator when you don't want it to. This one basically looks after it all for you, so it'll basically take you up there nice and slowly in a controlled manner and control that throttle for you. So you're looking at 230 mils of ground clearance, which is nothing outstanding, it's pretty good. 700 millimeters wading depth. Again, there's better, but it's towards the top of the class. But really good wheel articulation, which you can feel there walking it down nicely. The approach angle is excellent, you're looking at 30 degrees. Departure angle not as good, 24 degrees. One of the issues out the back there is that spare tyre, it's pretty exposed, you can get it hung up on things. In true LandCruiser fashion though, a lot of the better or more serious off-road gear only comes in the more expensive model. Of course, one thing I can't measure on a drive like this is the propensity for a LandCruiser to keep doing this year after year, just keep on going. And history suggests that they've got that part nailed, and obviously this 200 series, the core of it is the same thing we've known for a lot of years, so history would suggest it's going to keep doing it. And the more you look at the details of a LandCruiser, the more you realise it is really set up for conditions like this. The jack and the toolkit, for example, are really easily accessible, so even if you've got the thing fully laden with gear, you can get it out to replace a tyre. The split tailgate is also a win. You can fold that bottom section down as a temporary camp table. And that huge fuel tank is a major bonus. None of it's cheap though. I'm in the GXL, which is sort of second from the bottom of the range. 87,000 bucks, it's a lot of money. You do get sat-nav, you get dual zone climate, but you miss out on a trip computer and you miss out on buttons on the steering wheel, for example. So really, to summarise, the LandCruiser is not a mega standout in one area, but it is a fantastic compromise. It's really quiet, it's really comfortable, it's super effortless, it's rugged, and it's very capable. So you add all those things up and all of a sudden you've got an extremely good off-roader. Just start saving.